A bone tuberculosis patient turns from receiver to giver thanks to city volunteers' help and guidance. In Tzu Chi's free clinic in Cambodia, patients undergo various surgeries to alleviate their pain. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In a Malaysian slum, Musdari has been suffering from bone tuberculosis. Learning of his hardship, city volunteers help him seek medical treatment.
The village of Tatingan is the largest slum area along the coastal areas in Davao, and it is home to more than two-thirds of underdocumented residents. With the increase of the residents, there are more and more wooden steel houses built, and diseases also spread.
Their homes are small and they live very densely. If they are infected with infectious diseases, the infection will spread at home or near their homes. It is easy to spread to everyone.
One day, Musdari fell on his way home from work, causing him to stay bedridden.
After that, he has been in pain. He even hurts when he lifts his foot. He's painful all day.
His description is that it hurts every 10 seconds.
During the time when he felt pain, some doctors made home visit and check his condition.
The doctor's visit gave Musdari hope.
His illness has caused him muscle atrophy. Recently, he had a fever.
The best treatment is actually hospitalization, but they have no financial ability. Plus, they are undocumented residents.
Then we invited an orthopedic surgeon to check on him and found out that his real problem was bone tuberculosis.
I am happy because someone visits my dad. I usually take care of my father, help him eat and drink water at home.
The doctors alleviate pain for the patient while the volunteers care about his daily life.
We got this medicine from the government hospital, but why did he get his medicine without any document status? This is because his illness is a contagious disease. The access to medicine index needs to be supervised. Therefore, we have to check up on him taking medicine every day.
He needs to take the medicine regularly and can be delayed. We always go to his home on the first day and the next day. We arrive at his home at 7 in the morning and then ask him if he has taken the medicine.
Now he has entered a rehabilitation period. After rehabilitation, he can actually sit up. He can sit without any dependence now.
In the foreign land, Musdari, who has suffered from illness and suffering, has slowly recovered, and he has become a Tzu Chi member and fast to help others.
Earthquakes have continued to plague the Philippines this past week. City volunteers from Davao have begun their relief mission.
As the truck with 5.5 metric tons of rice arrives at the factory where Tzu Chi volunteers are preparing for quake relief, everyone pitches in to pack the rice into 5-kilogram portions. In total, 1,100 packs are being prepared for the upcoming distributions.
Last Friday, we went to Magsaysay, and there were about 1,000 households that were affected. We handed out blankets to 700 households, so there are still 300 we haven't reached. Tomorrow, we plan to distribute the rest of the 300. Then the rest of the 700 will go to Tulunan and Makilala.
November 1st is All Saints' Day in the Philippines, and it's akin to the Chinese Tomb Sweeping Day. And although there aren't many Tzu Chi volunteers in Davao, many of their family members came to help out.
因为我们差不多有2、3、4个人吧。
你们从哪时候开始打包？
我们从1点半开始打包。
哦，所以现在其实也只有花2个钟头，对不对？
对，花2个钟头就完成了。
Though the quake happened in Mindanao, volunteers from across the Philippines have mobilized their efforts. Besides Manila and Cebu, who have provided Jing's folding beds, Tzu Chis from Ormoc are also hitting the streets to canvass for donations during the All Saints holiday. Love and care pouring in from across the Philippines will warm the disaster victims' hearts.
In Taiwan, the Tzu Chi sisters major in baking and food at Jiayang High School. The older sister has cerebral palsy and they also have a younger sister. The parents shoulder heavy financial burdens, but teach them to be grateful. The two sisters major in baking and food, and therefore making bread is their basic skill.
The most difficult part is coating the shape at the beginning. We are shaping it now. After that, we will let it rise for the second time.
They practice making dinner rolls at home during their days off from school because they're interested in pursuing a career in baking. The two sisters are actually triplets. Their oldest sister is congenital cerebral palsy.
She held things in her hands and shook her hand. When she was 3 or 4 months old, we discovered that she was tied to one side and not the other. My husband and I brought her for examination and discovered that she has a problem.
They have another younger sister who is in first grade. Having to raise 4 children, the parents shoulder heavy burdens.
Life is tough, but they have a very great principles and the ways of teaching their children.
The two sisters are mature and considerate. They care for their eldest and youngest sisters. The 4 of them often take walks together. The 2 middle sisters also share the household chores. When one person does the dishes, the other person dries the laundry.
When my mother works overtime, she would go to the market late, and therefore I would help her cook.
Mr. Tsai is very content, and he tells his children to be grateful.
Do not owe people, so one would feel down to earth. You would eventually have to pay people back.
At our DSI office, we are making sheets for the deceased, even though they cannot do the professional work, but they can help as much as they can.
This family lives in a 45-year-old house and leads a frugal life. Despite that, they're content and grateful, and they cherish their blessings. The large-scale free clinic in Cambodia has started November 1st, while the medical professionals at one hospital provide internal medicine, dental, and TCN services. Those at the other hospital provide ophthalmology services. At 8 o'clock in the morning, people are singing in a hospital in Battaban, Cambodia. There are a lot of people waiting to see the doctors. In fact, they've waited for nearly 2 hours. Now they've completed the paperwork and can soon go inside to seek medical attention. There are people waiting on the other side. Therefore, the volunteers seize the time to do some activities, such as singing Tzu Chi songs and gesture sign language. They will also teach them some health knowledge. The large-scale free clinic in Cambodia has officially started. One 40-year-old woman took a 7-hour boat ride to come to undergo the necessary surgery because her eye disease has troubled her for 10 years.
I cannot see clearly. Even though I wanted to go fishing to earn some money, I was afraid that I might hit other boats. My family's income has been affected. Currently, only my husband can go out to make a living, but his income is unstable.
There's also a Dharma master who has suffered from an eye problem for 10 years. Since he was injured as a child, he only has one eye, his left eye now.
In the 10 years, I feel ashamed when I went to school. I had difficulties seeing things and I do not dare to look at people in the eyes.
A Philippine Tima doctor has learned about his situation back in the beginning of October. He has made preparations for the patient when he was in the Philippines.
I took pictures, then when we go home, we try to look for artificial eye. We try to bring many sizes for him to try.
Most of the ophthalmology patients are cataract patients. For instance, this man has cataracts even though he's only 32. One of his eyes is blind and the other suffers from blurred vision. The reason is because most of the local residents are farmers who are overexposed to the sun.
I only hope my eye can be cured so that I can see clearly and continue to work. Since they do not have money, lack nutrients, and cannot afford to see doctors, so their situation worsened. That's why they go blind.
The doctors mindfully solved the problem for every patient. After surgeries, the patients walked out of the operation rooms with smiles. The medical professionals also provide post-surgery advice.
I feel very happy when I go to school. I can look at people in the eyes.
Thank you, everyone. I feel very excited. I was very nervous when going to the operation room, but now it's done. I feel very happy.
In Cambodia, on the second day of Tzu Chi's free clinic, many patients sought medical attention at the TCM section. The TCM doctors even sang songs to relax the patients. At the TCM clinic area, the doctor is singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars. An epilepsy patient has asked his mother to bring him here upon hearing there's a free clinic. Nevertheless, he feels quite nervous when seeing the doctor.
Are you okay? Relax, huh?
He started having epilepsy since he was 2 years old. After taking medication for 8 years, he no longer suffers from the symptoms. However, his left hand and leg have gone paralyzed and he cannot talk clearly.
After the TCM doctor applied acupuncture and massage, his stiff arm has improved a bit.
After applying acupuncture, his tendon is more relaxed and his muscles will also relax.
This patient's waist and feet have been sore for 5 years. He has come to receive TCM treatment for 2 consecutive days.
I hope my illness can be cured, so I can go out and do some work. I have a lot of grandchildren at home, but my children have gone to Thailand to work. There are only the grandchildren and my wife left.
The residents are mostly farmers and the humidity is high. Therefore, most of the people here suffer from knee pain. If they seek traditional Chinese medicine medical treatment, it costs them $10 each time. It is a heavy burden for them.
Their living conditions are not very ideal, and they cannot eat very well. Therefore, we give them some food. But they want to save them for their children and other family members. As a result, they might feel dizzy after receiving medical checks.
You can see that there are many stairs here, but some of them have been labeled with red and yellow tapes. This is the work of a TCM doctor.
Since I saw some colleagues almost fell from the stairs, so I need to prevent the patients from falling. As we come to treat the patients, we also need to watch out for their safety. This is what doctors should do.
A patient who suffers from mobility issues can finally walk after undergoing the treatment. The doctor supports him on his way out, hoping to warm up his heart while healing his illness. On the second day of Tzu Chi's free clinic in Cambodia, local organization TYDA also held a free clinic. They invited Tima doctors to join them. Tzu Chi volunteers are performing sign language songs. On the second day of the free clinic in Cambodia, TYDA medical volunteers also held their free clinic. The residents take the trucks to come seek medical attention. 3,000 residents wait for their turn to see the doctor. TYDA representative has come to the free clinic to care for patients. When they see patients with complicated conditions, they immediately ask TIMA doctors for their advice. On the other side of the tent is the internal medicine clinic area. There are doctors from 2 organizations treating each patient. Tzu Chi has been invited to join this free clinic to exchange their experiences and skills.
We are here to support them. Some of them are medical students or very young doctors. Our more experienced doctors are able to show them ways to diagnose the illness and ways to ask for the patient's medical history. When I was treating the patient, they observed me mindfully to see what equipment I used and how I removed the tooth. When I was suturing the wound, they've also asked me how I did it. They are learning diligently.
The dental clinic is crowded as well. After exchanging his experience with TIMA doctors, a local doctor decided to undergo an internship in Taiwan for 3 months.
I think that Tzu Chi doctors are world-class. Therefore, I want to go to Taiwan to undergo an internship to accumulate my experiences.
Besides exchanging medical experiences, city volunteers also seized the opportunity to promote recycling. They hope to spread seeds of humanitarian spirit in Cambodia. At the 3-day free clinic, team members from Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines have joined hands with local doctors to alleviate pain of patients. Compared to hospitals, the equipment at outdoor free clinics might be simpler. Nevertheless, Tima doctors are still mindful about the details. They dispose of the needles used to check blood sugar levels and make good use of OPET bottles.
In Taiwan, we dispose all the needles inside the bottle, then throw away as waste. This way, the scavengers won't get hurt.
The 20-year-old girl weighs only more than 20 kilograms. Without money to receive insulin shots, she keeps losing weight.
It's not easy for them to see doctors. While we might not think it is very important for them to come to seek medical treatment, they think it's very important. Perhaps this is the only chance for them to see the doctor this year.
Going to impoverished areas, the doctors can feel their responsibilities. There's nothing inside the big wooden house. The medical volunteers brought their lights, medical chairs, and check-up equipment. The technicians wait on the side, ready to offer their services when needed.
The spray head clogs easily, and there might be leaks. It is best that there is no need for our service, because that means these machines are functioning well. This way, we will be safer. We are not the main characters. The doctors are the main characters, not us.
Being able to save lives, the medical doctors are grateful for the support of the volunteer team.
What really amazed me is that without the Tzu Chi sister holding lights, or without the help of the translator, or if the patient did not come, I would not have been able to help out.
This 20-year-old young man has sarcoma in his mouth. He has been seeking doctors' help since he was little. Now more than one doctor is standing next to the operation desk, ready to help him get rid of the sarcoma.
And he's grown up, so he can eat, he can do everything, right? And yet he wants an operation. So it is really affecting him psychologically. Otherwise, you would not bother. I mean, you've had it since birth. I think that's what we are here for, right? To make people's lives better.
Today in our continuing report about food supply, we look at leftover food. Everyone knows that the treatment of kitchen waste is generally handled in 4 ways. In Japan, some turn solid food waste into liquid livestock feed.
This is bread discarded by university cafeterias and malls. Although it's expired, in fact, these are the breads that were made yesterday.
Japan's annual food waste is about 16 million metric tons. Most of the food is incinerated, or about 6.4 million metric tons is still edible. It is twice the United Nations annual humanitarian aid.
Now we have lots of food 24 hours a day all year round. Kids or consumers don't seem to cherish food or believe that it is hard to come by. This is one of the main causes of food waste.
This veterinarian has been interested in environmental protection since childhood. He has seen the problem of leftover food in Japan. Since 1998, he has started to study the issue of leftovers, though Japanese regulations do not allow food to be recycled.
To become engaged in this business, we need to modify many current laws. Otherwise, it will be impossible to carry out this business. We also suggest how to amend the law and related policies to communicate with the country's regulators.
It is difficult to know how to properly recycle in a way that is beneficial to the environment. But for a country that does not eat instant food and food safety is very strict, it is incredibly difficult to take discarded food out of the trash can and almost impossible to follow up. In fact, it took 10 years and relevant government agencies to study how to change laws related to food recycling. Finally, they established the Japan Food Ecology Center in Kanagawa Prefecture, which is Japan's first food recycling center.
Tremendous.
There are noodles and there are also good breads. The company brought the leftovers and unloaded the containers before returning them to the manufacturer.
80% of the cooperative food factories use refrigerated trucks. The freight is borne by the food industry, and after the raw materials arrive at the factory, the food is washed with a powerful water spray, and a magnet picks out impurities, and it's sterilized at high temperature of 80 to 90 degrees and fermented.
In the past, these discarded foods must be dried first to avoid going rancid and spoiled. Now, using the fermentation technology developed in Japan, the leftover food is made into liquid feed, and it reduces the cost and is environmentally friendly.
Because humans consume and produce food waste every day, the factory, which is 900 square meters, operates 12 hours a day, recovering 35 metric tons of food a day, which can produce 42 metric tons of liquid environmentally friendly fertilizer. It's also feed for pigs, which is half the cost of general feed. It can also be customized according to the needs of each farm.
We cooperate with composting and renewable energy producers. For example, the residue of fried food, such as tempura, is sent to renewable energy producers. Other leafy vegetables we don't need are given to the composting industry. All in all, we work and support with other renewable energy companies.
Compared with incineration, recycling is more economical. For example, if the food industry incinerates 40 kilograms of kitchen waste for 50 US cents, but recycling only costs 20 US cents. If the amount of waste generated exceeds 100 tons per year, the company can be subject to fines, so the recycling rate is increasing year by year. In 2012, the recycling rate of the Japanese food industry was as high as 69%. Of which 70% were made into feed, which could replace about 10% of imported corn.
Aside from making livestock feed, we are now starting to be involved in biogas business. While promoting food recycling in various parts of Japan, we also hope to help establish such a model around the world in the future and look forward to changing society together.
At present, leftover food from large food factories and shopping malls is an environmentally friendly business opportunity to produce livestock feed. At present, Japan has already hundreds of enterprises have invested in this type of food recycling, which not only saves waste disposal costs but also helps the environment.
In Dongguan, Guangdong Province, a natural carnival and walk have been held on the holiday. City volunteers seized the opportunity to promote environmental protection. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.